1020. 1020 expiry pound USD call. Please take note, guys. If you're here new, you want to be just watching for the first 1-2 sessions, and then beyond the 2 sessions that you attend, then you want to be going on demo for at least 2 weeks, and then you go on live. Pound USD is still good opportunity right now, and take this for a reversal. The previous swing was wow, 25 pips. That's crazy. Okay, we have a new low. We can actually do a re-entry as well at this point for the same expiry. Looks even better now. Re-enter the trade, exit the previous one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, you know what? 5 minutes call. 5 minutes call pound USD. 5 minutes call pound USD. 5 minutes call pound USD. Just gonna go back in on the same setup. Just gonna double up this time. Get back in on it. So I'll try to, the previous one, just let it go. But we'll take this one instead. This one looks really good. So if you have already taken it, re-enter, because whenever I see it bounce or go past a parallel trend line to the moving average, that often is a very good sign. Every time it comes off again is an even better sign for reversal. Plus, we have the RSI curving up already, and we have stochastics ready to break above 15. Value charts has been hitting rapidly a couple of times. And although the CCI is not ready yet, but we can also know why it's not ready yet, because this is still quite some distance away from the moving average line. That's why it's still, until it touches the moving average line, that's when you're going to see that the CCI get into the 100 minus 100 area. How do you see FIBO in this one? That's a very good question. I would probably do a FIBO like this. And I'll see that it's actually a little bit past the 161.8. Alternatively, I could use FIBO on the first pullback as well, which would be this one. But so this week, generally for until the market kind of like stabilizes itself, it's going to be a bit like last week, where you want to be ready. You want to be ready for re-entries. So go in small just in case you have to go in again. Okay. Obviously, the aim is to win. Obviously, the aim is to win reversals on the first attempt, but we don't always get that. But we try to. So just in case it's a false one, we are able to go in again without too much of a risk on our account. What also made this a good trade was that it dipped beneath the round figure of 121 by just a little bit. Wow. On the Forex, it looks really good on the H1. Very, very tempting. My goodness. Wow. That's definitely something worth looking into on the H1 at a Forex level. So our M5 trade is going well. Not by a lot, but decent. Yeah, you can say that. Okay, this FIBO is always a little bit supported. By the way, Orlin, I love the questions you're asking. It's always a bit subjective. I can draw based on the earliest pullback or the previous swing in this case. So the 161 is about here and the 261 is about here. So they're both kind of valid. Some people we identify one or the other one. And then very often as well, you will see that certain lines would have a coincidence. And there we go, in the money within a few seconds more. And by the way, if you guys have questions, please go ahead and ask them in the Telegram chat. I love what Orland is doing because, I mean, just like him, you can ask questions as well. Maybe other people have the same questions that you have too. So go ahead and ask your questions. Mm-hmm. So incidentally, these two trades expire just about the same time. Okay. Trend and reversal setup. That's a question I actually answered in the first 5 minutes of the previous webinar. But if there are no current opportunities, I would do a brief explanation. But let me just check a couple of active pairs right now and see if there's any opportunities, and I'll explain that to you if I'm able to do so. Okay. So, all right. Did you guys get my recent email, by the way? I sent out an email saying that there are like consolidations that go like straight ways and okay, here's good. You see this? What we have here and here, this part between here and here, is a consolidation, right? Consolidation is when the price oscillates and waves back and forth. There are different kinds of consolidations. There are consolidations that go run diagonal as well. So this is another example of oops. Crap. I'm gonna redo this one. Okay. So this is a consolidation. And then there's also a different kind of consolidation that runs sideways, like that. It's also a consolidation. So it can be a little bit confusing sometimes. You see, this is also a consolidation. So they can be sideways as well. And then now, if the consolidation is 3 to 6 pips, or let's say 6 pips or less, wait for breakouts only to do sprees. Sprees, like direction trend follows, okay? And if the consolidation is fairly big, let's say, if you have a consolidation like that, okay? Where the range, this is a crosshair tool, okay? You measure, drag from one side to the other one. Look at the middle finger, the one that says 133, okay? 134, 133, 134, that's the middle one. That's the number of micro pips. 10 micro pips makes 1 pip. So this is 134 micro pips, that's 13.4 pips. Anything that's like 9 pips or more, go for reversals instead. So even if you lose one trade, wait for the next one to go in again. Because as long as we have a big range to play with, you're more likely to work on a reversal. But if the range is very small, then we do wait for breakouts instead. So that's so if we have like 9 pips or more, then you go for the reversal template. If you have like 6 pips or less, go for the scalp template. Does that make sense? How long to write sprees? Okay. You write a spree until it changes direction. There are a couple of ways to end a spree, and let me identify one for you right now. Okay, so, all right, this is a spree entry. My dog's itchy, that's why the noise. Okay, so this is the candle that breaks above the support line. Okay, this is the support line. This is the kind of breaks above. So this is not the entry candle. This is a confirmation candle. So what you do here is you go for like call. You know this is a loss, right? But you double on the next one, call, and you win. And then call. And then when do you stop? Okay, the RSI hits 90, you can stop. But generally for me, I don't stop until it reverses. Hits outer Bollinger Band, that can also be a key to stop. There are a couple of factors that can tell you to stop. Outer Bollinger Band is one. Moving average of 200 is one. But let's say if I didn't stop. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. All right. Call. And these are losses, as you can tell. And I said, as long as it doesn't close beneath the moving average line, I'm still doing calls. So I go for a call. And I win. I win on this one here. And then when I see a new support resistance appearing, I stop trading. When I see a new set of red dots or blue dots, I stop. And I wait for it to break again, then I continue again. But assuming if the dots didn't come on and you're a newbie and you didn't know what to do. So I would do it this way. Assuming I went in again and I check this, okay, assuming that the CCI is still above 100. If I see the CCI is coming to 100, I'm just going to stop anyways. But assuming that I went on, if that was a call, then the next one, because it closed beneath the moving average line, that's a put, which will be a loss. And the next one is a put where I win. Okay? Lost GU trade after winning all along in the last 3 seconds. What's your entry? What's your exit? Do I double up the trade size after a loss? It depends. Generally, yes. There are kind of trades that, okay, look at today, right? Today, what was the thing? Today, you guys in the chat, I saw you guys doing a UJ trade. So you guys were thinking that it was going to drop at this point. Am I right? I know a lot of you guys were looking at this spike and you're thinking of doing some trade here. So when I see this kind of reversal, at this point of time, okay, now the monthly high is here. But earlier on, this was the monthly high, okay? About 3-4 hours ago, this was the monthly high. So I know a couple of you were around, you're looking at this one. And then in this kind of a trade setup, when it is also the monthly high or the monthly low, expect there to be consolidations. So usually if I lose on the first time, I'm not going to pursue this. But if it's a swing high that is not the monthly high, let's say, at this point, okay, at this point here, would I do a reversal? Yes. If I lost it, would I do a follow-up? Yes, I would. I would go in again. But over here, no. Okay, you get what I'm saying? So that's how I would do it differently. If it's within the range, within the weekly range, within the daily range, by all means, I would go in again and again and again if I needed to. Because I know that most of the time I will win with just one double up. Just one double up on a reversal if it's properly spotted. Okay. Now, Suresh, your question, Bollinger Bands are 5 lines of Bollinger Band. Why is that? This is moving average, Bollinger Band 20, Bollinger Band 20 also. 1 deviation, 2 deviations. That's the difference. So you can look at properties. This one, standard deviation is 2, standard deviation 1. The same middle line. The middle line is MA20. So what is the significance of moving average Bollinger 1 deviation, 2 deviations? Okay, when the candles stay within the first line and outer line consecutively, it shows you a strong trend. See, if it stays within the bottom 2 lines for in the downtrend, it signals a downtrend. But when it breaks above the deviation 1 line, it shows a trend change line. So this is another way of telling you that it's a direction change. Look at this one here. It's coming down, staying within the deviation 1, deviation 2, and then it stays beneath. And then the moment it crosses above, I would have gone for my, if I did a spree over here, I would have gone my call over here already. But this one's just a bit later, but it kind of tells you that the downtrend is no more. Because once it breaks above deviation 1, it's going to go across to the other side more often than not. I hope that answers your questions, a whole bunch of questions that you guys put. Great questions, by the way. Okay, now, what's happening at UCAD? We are having a consolidation between these 2 lines. Wave, wave, wave. This one is how many pips? 8.7 pips. It's kind of one of those that it's neither here nor there. I can either do a breakout or I could do a reversal. But the more waves it makes, let's say I think if it breaks above, there's a good chance of me going for a spree of calls as well. Okay. Also considering that the moving average lines are all set up in the correct order, so I'm waiting for the spread to the upside. How do I know it's good for re-entry? Okay, let's take the UJ example. So let's say if you guys are repeatedly getting faked on this one, okay, how I would have done this one was that I would have traded it. Let's say if I was being faked, I was trying to do reversals and I got faked out, I would do the breakout. Okay, I could do either the breakout or I could wait for it to come beneath the bottom line. So beneath the bottom line, probably switch a time frame. And once it gets beneath my bottom line, then I'll start taking the trade. So I'll probably look at it as, okay, I'll see it as, okay, it's been going up for maybe up to here, 16 bars. From here, I'll do from this point onwards, a 16 bar expiry. That's how I'll do it, okay? Now let's look out for more opportunities on the short term. Shit, we missed a small one. Let's go for correlated pairs, see if we can find anything else that we may be able to still catch. Consolidating, this is BS stuff that is not worth the trade. Why? The range is tiny. And GJ is a big moving pair, and if even a big pair like this just has small swings, okay, this 17 pips, but it looks relatively tiny. Okay, by the way, exotic pairs, GJ, EA, GA, these ones move a little bit more, but doesn't mean that they're good. So you need to view them with different light. Check this one out. Oh, wow. See if EU looks better. This is okay, let's go with UCHF. 1, 2, 3. UCHF, let's try a 2 minutes call first. UCHF, let's try a 2 minutes call. Go small first for start, just in case. All right, so my setup on this one I'm looking at this part being parallel with my moving average line, and I move it. In fact, it exceeds that point. And this minute swing is about 2 pips, 3 pips-ish. So I'll take it for 2 minutes. Of course, I could have also done it for, all the way from the previous movement of about 10 pips, but I would avoid staying in the trade for longer than I should. Okay, Marco, if you want to do this full time and if you are semi-experienced at binary options, by all means accept the bonus. I take bonuses all the time. But let's say if you're not sure if you're going to be doing this for the next couple of months, then maybe you don't want to do that. If you think you're here for the long run, then definitely take the bonus. Okay, but I usually recommend just about 50%. That's good. Don't take too much. All right, this one we have to take it for the bigger swing, no choice. So good. I tried taking for short, but that didn't work out. Let's take it for a longer period of time. 15 minutes call, 10:50 expiry. Before that, I want to confirm with the CCI as well. Let's wait a little bit. Wait for some signs of reversal. Yeah, get ready. 15 minutes call. UCHF. So we tried the shorter one, didn't work out. We're going for longer time frame. UCHF. There you go. 15 minutes. Let's take a bigger one. That's my entry. This is also the time where I usually start to put in Feebles and other studies to see whether we've got the right price. Yeah, that's 161.8%. That should do nicely. If you only have 10, round up to 20. If you can plus minus by 5 or 10 minutes, but if you have to go more than that, stay out. So look at the correlations instead. Okay, I gave a guideline last week. Okay, these are some of the correlated stuff. Where I put it. If you don't have UCHF, do Euro USD. So it should be the opposite. But this is the worst one. So in that case, look at USD JPY, maybe something. Yeah, USD JPY, a lot of correlation with the UCHF as well. So when you look at this chart, I will say plus means positive, minus means negative, negative means opposite directions, plus means same direction. So now this one is working out in our way. Also, if you're a newbie, try not to have more than 1 or 2 trades going at the same time, preferably one. Otherwise, you overstretch. 261.8, not bad. 5 minutes call EG if you want to. Small one. Just in case it goes all the way 423.6. It might. What the heck? Okay, go on M5. What's EU doing? Spiking also? EU is double top. A lot of divergence. How is our UCHF doing? It's not a fail yet because we have time. So we have 10 minutes. Mm. Mm. Okay, the next thing I'm going to look out for is a change in the angle on the moving average. Right now it's steep, steep. When it reduces its degree of the angle, and then you'll have a higher chance of winning. That means it's running out of steam. So right now, the things I'm looking at precisely would be this, divergence, this one's really marked out. So what's possible is some kind of a consolidation. When it breaks above 725, it's all the way up. Nice one on GU, Marco. And anyone who took 5 minutes on EG is doing well as well. Wow, this one's a big retrace. How's UCAT doing? UCAT. Not a spree. Recent swings are, although they're like less than 6, but notice the previous times, every time it breaks a support, right, it doesn't really run on for that long. And this one's already coming back. So this would have been a 2-minute put from the high. Because it was overextended, and I would rather go for a reversal instead. When I see that the candles alternate with black and whites a lot, the quality of it spreeing is going to be quite poor. This will be a bounce, bounce on the MA100. Oh yeah, binary mate folks. ensure that you're using fixed time. Okay, fixed time is this one. The difference between that and this is that this one you get less than a minute, and this is the full minute. Okay, you had 2 minutes of worked out just now, and now this one also another 2 minutes. You can let's grab for 2 minutes. Might be a bit late. You know what? Let's grab it for longer. Let's take it for this whole movement. 7 minutes. 7 minutes ish. 10, round up to 10. 10:55. 10:55 expiry, US Canadian. US Canadian, 10:55. 10:50 is too little time. Get 10:55. End of this minute. Let's go for it. Okay, Valen, this one already hit 90. That's why I'm counting more on a reversal than on a trend follow. UCHF consolidation between here and here. Okay, the bottom is found. So M5 chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 35 minutes. 10 past. 10 past the hour. 10 past, no, 15. 10 past. 20 past. 20 past. I'm getting back in on USCHF. 20 minutes past. 15 minutes past to do. Okay, for those of you who want to, like Lewis, you had a question. Those really big movements, how do you cut out the fakes? One way, which is like a double-edged sword, is to join the trade late. Let's say about 23.6%. So this one's coming back up. CCI is already in the 100th. RSI needs to get to the 50. So for UCAT, supposing for those who have done a spree, call, and put. And the reason why I said that I wouldn't just stop at 90 very often because sometimes it's maxed out, but it still keeps going anyway. So I just ride it into a direction change and I grab it that way. UCHF, no, sorry, UJ, I rather not do this trade because it's looking a bit like the UCHF and I don't want to have two of the same thing. I did say that UCHF and UJ have quite a lot of correlation movement. So I rather not like be in a messy trade like twice. I consider this UCHF trade messy, and I'd rather not get twice of that. So, it's no different entering two correlated trades than putting double the money on one. However, for sprees, yes, this is actually, oh shit, we missed a very good spree on the UJ. This is beautiful. Let's catch it for direction change. Get ready a 60-second call for USD JPY. Get ready for 60-second calls to catch a direction change. So I'm going to start higher. The moment it crosses above the moving average line, and then I'm going to go for a call trade for 60 seconds. CCI is already there. Now, the only thing I need to wait for is for this to ensure there's a call by closing above the MA7s, both of them, not just one, both of them. Okay, go in for shit. I think I had a timer lag. Okay, never mind. Let's try a correlation pair. UC. That was a wet. EU. Okay. This is a win big. So our UCAN has dropped nicely. And our UJ, we're too late. Oh, wow, we're lucky. We're lucky we didn't do that because it had double direction change. Let's stay off that. No, don't do it just yet. That shouldn't be happening. Let's catch it on the next one. Double direction change. See, it crossed the moving average lines and crossed back down. Orland today had a question. What does it mean when the red goes above yellow? It just means that they're going sideways. We look at other things instead. Wait for it to cross back up. But other than that, this whole area becomes a support resistance. Now I'll be more interested in breaks beneath or breaks above. In the meantime, I'll remove the unnecessary lines. USC is behaving better. Let's check the EJ. Is that good? Okay, UJ try and catch a reversal. EJ try and catch a reversal on this one. It's previously been about 50%, 50, 65%. This is not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's take the whole range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's go for 5 minutes call. No, 10 minutes call on EJ. 10 minutes call on EJ. Okay, never mind. Catch a direction change. Let's go to 60 second. Get ready to catch EJ for 60 second. EJ. Once it crosses above the moving average line, we're going to go in for a 60-second call. Again, double direction change. What the heck? Let's check back on UJ, see what that's doing. Okay, beware of a break to the downside. If it breaks downside, we're going to go for puts on UJ. Set up on USD JP1 instead. So as you see, I just respond, to the opportunity. I go from I'm not sentimental. I go from one to the next. EJ recent swing was how much is that? 61 to 57. Yeah, we could spree this. Is UJ better or EU? Okay, UJ is ready on that one. EJ, yes, EJ is ready as well for the 60-second call, but not looking the best really. So try and do Euro USD. I think we can catch a good spree there perhaps. Oh no, it's weak. How much is the previous move? Previous move is 5.9 pips. That's not too bad. But it's been choppy though. Okay, EJ is what? Double direction change again? So playing binary well is kind of like, poker. It's about knowing when to fold and when to call. Get ready, EJ. If this closes above, okay, wait for the volatility to fade out a bit. Volatility is a bit too much. Volatility is a bit too much right now. Just hold back for a moment. Let's see what's going on in the news. But this was half an hour ago. What's that got to do with anything? Oh, sweet. EU. Look at that. We should see a good rise in the UCHF any moment now. Wait for a spike in the UCHF. Any moment now, it's going to spike because this one dropped like my mad. No, a lot of this stuff is kind of like just noise, pure noise. So rather not do it. AU potential. AU is a potential setup. And AU generally does very well in US session. AU 2 minutes put AU 2 minutes put, end of this minute. AU 2 minutes put, end of this minute. Hmm. What? Okay, the trade is off. The trade is off. It already moved. It already moved. Trade is off. Okay, for those of you who are using like spot option platforms, roll over the UCHF trade, roll over. Hmm. This one has what, 15 minutes left, and is that going to be enough time? 423.6. Huh. Real strange. Okay, no sprees, no reversals on EU doing weird stuff. AU again, AU again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minutes put, end of this minute. 5 minutes put, end of this minute. Gonna do a feeble on that, just to be sure. 161.8 in the previous movement. Might go all the way to 61.8. Looks good though. Okay, we give it 1 to 1 minutes on the AU. Alternatively, you can take it for 5 minutes now and go in again if it doesn't work out. 5 minutes AU. Reversal. Price sucks. Euro USD instead. Euro USD. Previous high. Oh, beautiful. 5 minutes put Euro USD. 5 minutes put Euro USD. Watch the volatility, guys. Volatility is a little bit strange. Okay, this one's consolidating to come back. Good. Check our entry. 6-2. That's just about there. That's good. I will always look at the chart that's 5 times smaller than what I'm trading on. Doji, good. Going reverse, reverse. Price is jumping around a lot. I think we need to take a little bit of a break. What the heck? What's all this volatility? And the correlation is off as well. And even for those doing sprees, wow, this is actually a really dangerous day for sprees too, because it's kind of like direction change and going back. So it's really risky. I'm glad that we didn't do a couple of the reversal trades thing. Okay, USD CHF, look for opportunities to sell for those who can sell. This is precisely why I stayed out of yesterday. I stayed out of Monday because it's supposedly like all kinds of SNB and FOMC stuff. Was it a Draghi speech today? Oh yeah, 24 minutes. Crap. One, two, three. This is when the reversals, the sprees and the reversals kind of don't make sense. That's why everything doesn't make sense. 7 minutes. We're going again. Going again. EU for 10 minutes. 15 minutes past expiry. I'm still going to counter trend, going to movements. You can't, no, UCHF, for those of you who are new, if it's your first day, you may want to sell and exit. But for those of you who are generally in profit from the past weeks, I guess, there is a possibility that it can spike out to our advantage in the last 5 minutes or so. But as you can see, for those of you who don't respect the rules of going demo, this is one of those sessions that you will see that it starts off well, but along the way it gets a little bit messy, and this is frankly quite messy compared to usual. But nonetheless, as a trader, I try to kind of like exit these situations with a profit nonetheless. But this also involves dipping into parts of my funds that I usually don't want to dip into. And this will be a more difficult session. I mean, I would say not a difficult session, like more like a difficult market for those people who are new. So if you don't make sense of today, I don't blame you. The market is kind of whack today. UCAT could work out in a big way. I just hope we have enough time before the expiry because my expiry is just about 7 minutes from now. I mean, you see the chapter is. Okay, here we are. This one has 5 minutes left. Okay, UCAT, I think it's very close to a spike, honestly speaking, but it's taking a long time, really. Sell and exit and try to come back again for most of you. Sell and exit, try to make your money on a different session. This is not the day to look for earnings unless you're advanced and you're comfortable with doing multiple re-entries and all that. Okay, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The whole movement. 13, 10:30. 10:30, 10:25 USD. Possibly could call enter between here and here. 10:30. I'm going for 10. Put on 10:30. No, no point, no point. Let's end here because the market is really like off whack today. No point trying to figure it out. For those of you who are like more advanced, and if you want advice on the trades you're doing, go ahead and post them in the chats. But I'll still be trading, but I think this part is probably best if I don't put it on there because it's gonna get real messy.